Hello, it's Reija and welcome to another video. Today I am going to be sharing with you my take on the Contradictions book tag. This tag was originally created by Daniela from Only If for a Page, and this was her very original tag, and she was so kind as to tag me into it, and I was so smitten with this question, so I have just been waiting for the inspiration to strike to finally get to this tag. So without further ado, let's get started. I love this genre, but I didn't like this book. Obviously, I will have to answer with a fantasy book because fantasy is my favorite genre, and the book I'm going with is Lost Gods by Mika Yongo. This was a debut novel that I read and I had high expectations for it, but I just felt that it was underdeveloped, the characters were very incompetent, and the plot was very over the place, and it sort of wanted to be both this sort of fantasy epic about these lost gods as well as a story about political upheaval, but it didn't quite manage to deliver on either of those aspects. So it was a huge letdown, and it is one of my least favorite books ever. And I don't even know if I can recommend it, because I just think that the writing and execution were not up to par for what I would usually recommend to people. I rarely read this genre, but I loved this book. I rarely read romance, but I loved Talia Hibbert's The Brown Sisters trilogy. I loved all of those books, but if I have to pick just one, I will have to say that I really loved and adored Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I just, it had just enough smut as well as emotional connection and emotional tension between the main characters. So that trilogy actually made me want to pick up more romance in novel format. I love this trope, but I didn't like this book. Now, here's the thing. I really like the idea of dark academia, and I like school settings with a sort of dark and twisty theme and sort of sinister mysteries going on behind it. Let's face it, I have grown up in a country with a very robust public school setting and public school system, so any type of media with a boarding school or sort of like these old Ivy League college sort of institutes, that's fantasy to me. That doesn't happen here. So it's like an incredible, fantastical trope to me, even if it doesn't have any fantasy elements actually. So with that out of the way, as I said, I like the trope of dark academia. I absolutely hated A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, and I DNF'd it around... I got to read a few chapters of it and then I was just done. I hated it so much that I couldn't even finish it. So I think I am safe to say that that is the book with this trope that is my absolute least favorite. I hate this trope, but I love this book. I am not the biggest fan of fairy tale retellings or reduxes. I wouldn't say I would go as far as to say I hate this trope, but it is one of my less preferred tropes. I don't tend to gravitate towards fairy tale retellings as much as other people I know. However, I really enjoyed Naomi Novik's Uprooted. It is sort of like a Beauty and the Beast type of retelling, and also sort of like Maiden in a Tower, and it's got some like witchy vibes and stuff. highly enjoyed it. Also, Catherine Arden's Winter Night trilogy, of which I have read the first 2 books, retells the stories of Vasilisa the Beautiful, and also in the second one, or the Deathless fairy tale. So I have enjoyed those. I feel like I enjoy them more when it is more of a subtle take on the actual fairy tale, or it does something completely different with the fairy tale that it tries to retell. So yeah, that's my answer. I love this author, but I didn't like this book. Well, I have enjoyed Naomi Novik's other books, Uprooted, Spinning Silver, his Temeraire. I am wanting to continue on with that series at some point. So I would say that I have enjoyed Naomi Novik's books, but I absolutely detested A Deadly Education. So yeah, that's one author off the top of my head that I do know that I have liked their books, but hated another one. I previously disliked a book by this author, but I loved this. Do I even have an answer for this one? I mean, I have pretty much hated everything that I've read by Stephen King. I mean, I haven't read a lot by him. I've read like 2 or 3 books. Like, I've read parts of It as well. Ugh, that's an experience I will never take back. But I liked Pet Sematary. That was okay. I mean, generally, if I dislike a book by an author, I don't tend to go back for another round unless I hear like incredible things about their books from other people. So I don't think I like have an answer for this. I'm one of those people who's like, well, I tried once and I was disappointed, so never again. Like, you have to convince me to try other books by an author that I have previously disliked. I love this cover, but I didn't like this book. Okay, I have an answer for this one. Erik Axel Sund's The Crow Girl trilogy has really fantastically creepy covers, and they just irk you because they make you uncomfortable, and like they're sinister and they're beautifully designed. The first book is absolute garbage. I can't for the life of me recommend it to anyone. It is so distasteful and gross, and like and not gross in a good way, gross in the most reprehensible I can't believe this got published way. So yeah, but the covers for that trilogy are A+, like that's like 101 on how to make an outstanding horror cover. The books are just like utter trash, but yeah, the covers are amazing. I don't like this cover, but I loved this book. Okay, I could have so many contestants for this, but I'm going to go with Babel 17 by Samuel R. Delany. I like this book, but the cover doesn't tell me anything. Like, the book is all about connection, found family, and language, and the cover is just some smiling woman in a helmet somewhere. This cover is so bland, and it doesn't entice you in any way to pick up the book. Like, if I saw this book randomly on a shelf, I wouldn't have picked it up. Luckily, I have friends who recommended this book and this author to me. But yeah, this is one of the blandest covers ever, and it does this book no favors. And finally, I will tag some people. I will tag Final Blow Joe, Anita Reeds, and Bookish Die. You are all tagged, and I can't wait to see your iterations of this. And for the rest of you, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and leave me 2 contradictory emojis down in the comments so that I know that you were here. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye bye!